Hello everyone, it's Silver here from Speedruns Live, and today I'm going to actually be reading off the patch notes for Splatoon version 2.8.0. Usually I just make a Pastebin where I write down like my thoughts on some of the changes or anything, but because I've been trying to get more involved in YouTube when it comes to Splatoon, I decided I'm going to make a video this time. So I'm going to read off some of the patch notes and just like go over some things and explain or give my thoughts on it basically. So first off, I'm going to cover some of like the simple changes. So first off, there's going to be new gear. We already know that there's going to be a new cold-blooded shirt and then a new damage up hat. We don't know the brands of them, but it's assuming that it's either going to be unbranded, so something like Famitsu or the Squid Girl, something that doesn't have a bias towards something particular, or it's going to have a special brand. There was someone that said that they saw a sticker for Zeko on the shirt, so it would most likely be Zeko brand if that was true. I haven't looked at the picture in a long time, but whatever. And then it comes with the Sheldon's Picks Volume 2 weapons. We only know 4 of those weapons at the time of recording this, and it's the Bento Splatter Scope, the Koro Roller, don't know if that's the final name or not, the Grim Range Blaster, and the NZAP 83. So let's go over some of the adjustments and maps. So there's a fix with Depot where you could they fixed the ability to clip into the ramps on the map. I don't exactly know how to do it. I was just told that it was possible that you could clip into the ramps and hide underneath them. And so there were apparently people were doing that with Rainmaker, because it specifically mentions Rainmaker was fixed. They adjusted where it counts as retreating with the Rainmaker on Camp Triggerfish. They fixed the out of bounds, or like the clipping through objects that you can do on Piranha Pit, and it specifically mentions Rainmaker again, so I'm not sure if you could do it in Rainmaker. I've only seen people do it in Tower Control. But maybe we'll see the return of Pit Rainmaker finally. And then they fixed that splash walls will no longer send you flying. And for those that don't know, if there's a glitch you can do on Mall right now, before 2.8.0 comes out, where if you have someone throw a splash wall at you while you're in your spawn, you can actually bounce off of it and go out of bounds. And we tried to do that. I deleted the video because we couldn't actually get it, because it's actually like really tricky to do. But we tried to do it for like an hour and couldn't get it, but it's possible. There's a video of it somewhere. Okay, so let's go to the weapon changes. So first off, the Vanilla Luna Blaster will no longer be normal depletion, or like medium depletion, and will become light depletion. This is completely fine, because first off, the Luna can't really charge special to begin with, and, well, Inkzuka is a fine special for it. It's not really something that kind of breaks the weapon. The weapon itself is already pretty annoying, but making it a light depletion is pretty good. I'm not really going to argue with that. The Zinc Mini Splatling, which is the Disruptor Bubbler one, goes from a medium depletion to heavy depletion, and that's really good. That weapon charges Bubbler like insanely fast, so giving a heavy depletion is something that was really needed, because the Mini Splatling, people don't actually realize this, but it has more range than the 10 attack. So having a weapon that has a Bubbler that has more range than the game's like basic all-rounder weapon is annoying to deal with. And then the refurbished Mini Splatling will be going from a medium depletion to a light depletion, which once again is fine. That thing has only like Burst Bomb Rush, which isn't really too much of an issue, and I don't know. I'm not really bothered by that. I didn't even know it was medium depletion, honestly. I don't think I've even used it. So the Aerospray MG and RG will have less deviation when you're shooting, while jumping. So for those that don't know, deviation is when like the accuracy of the weapon changes when you're jumping. It's like, you may notice it, but when you jump with weapons, your shots will tend to go off target more often. That's just shot deviation while you're jumping. and the arrow spray will have less deviation. The Rapid Blaster and Rapid Blaster Deco will have a 12% faster movement speed while firing, which is pretty good. Increasing movement while firing is always helpful. It helps to strafe around people and stuff like that. The Rapid Blaster Pro and Pro Deco will have a 15% movement increase while firing, and when you're jumping, you will have 50% less deviation, and that's really good. I've actually surprisingly got directs while jumping with that weapon, and the deviation on the Rapid Blasters is insane, and it's really noticeable. I actually recommend you go into the training room and look at that right now. Just like jump and fire, and then stand still and fire, and you'll see how off, the shots are from where you're pointing. The L3 and L3D will do 20% more damage to the Rainmaker shield. This is really needed as the nozzle noses do like nothing to the shield. They're like really bad when it comes to breaking the Rainmaker shield. The H3 and H3D also do 40% more damage to the Rainmaker shield. Again, needed because they don't do jack to the shield at all. The Sloshing Machine and Sloshing Machine Neo will have an 11% movement increase while firing. Don't really use that weapon, don't know how helpful that would be. I don't actually see too many people with that weapon trying to strafe around others. Usually they stand firm, so I'm not sure if that's really helpful. It is a buff, though. I'm pretty sure that'll be helpful on maps where there's grading, because you want to move quickly on the grading. The Ink Brush Nouveau, Permanent Ink Brush, Octobrush, and Octobrush Nouveau will have an adjustment where when you flick, you will actually cover your feet. And this is something that I've been wanting for a long time. If you watch some of my Octobrush videos, you'll see that while I'm moving, I'm constantly flicking ahead, then flicking my feet before I start moving again. That's so I can actually just immediately go into Squid and swim around. This change will make it so when you flick now, it'll cover your feet immediately. That is really helpful and has been needed for quite some time, and I'm surprised it took them this long to get to that. There's less end lag when placing an ink mine, which basically means that when you place the ink mine, there's less time before you can shoot. So, still haven't seen too many ink mines, so I'm not really sure if anyone's really excited for that, but it's a thing, I guess, if you really are a fan of ink mines. Now this is one thing that everyone's excited about. Stealth jump got nerfed. So prior, if you use stealth jump, there was a few seconds before you would hit the ground where you could still attack. So dynamo rollers can flick, blasters can shoot, and shooters can shoot. And so this usually led to a lot of cheap deaths where people would get killed by someone who's still falling. Well, now, stealth jump will not allow you to attack until you have landed. So, it has basically made it to where there's going to be less cheap deaths to people stealth jumping, and you couldn't react in time because you didn't know they were attacking. And it's actually, it's a huge issue in tower control, because a lot of people will stealth jump to the tower, and then while you're sitting there on the tower and you don't know someone's jumping, they'll just suddenly kill you, and then you see them land. And that will be less prevalent. Well, that won't be an issue anymore because they can't attack anymore while falling. So that's helpful. The one thing it doesn't say is if it affects normal super jumps, like without stealth jump, can you still attack, or is that also changed? And they just didn't mention it. So that's all there was, all the changes. So basically, the biggest change is, or I guess the most notable thing is that the Zinc Mini will have heavy depletion, which has been needed. I'm a big fan of the brush change. Inking your feet is really helpful. And then stealth jump getting nerfed is a big thing. The rest of it's kind of, just kind of slight fixes, I guess, for the people that want to use those weapons. I mean, they do what they usually do, and they adjust weapons that have a variant coming out. So like the arrow sprays got adjusted, and the H3 got adjusted, and they have new variants coming out soon. The kits for them haven't been announced yet, but the update comes out June 7th, and at the time of recording this, it is the 4th, so only a few more days. And yeah, so I want to thank everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will be doing this for future patches. So yeah.